Hi, everybody. Welcome to Unveiling the Truth with Brad and Robin. We are excited for our podcast today. I have a friend on today that I just love her. She has written a book, and I really feel that this is a story to be told, and we want to get it to a broader audience. And so I don't know if Brad's going to hold up her book, but I'm going to hold up her book, and it is Awakened Soul. And our guest is Sharon Sananda Kumara. And I just want to give a bit of backstory on how I met Sharon. Is I kind of was going on my personal quest. I kind of backed away from YouTube and stuff for a little bit, and I thought I need to fill myself up. I was running low, and so I started going on to the meetups. And then I started a meetup for a while. And so I think Sharon, you were my first meetup I found.
Mm,
And you had how do you say it? Pranic? How do you say
Pranic
that?
healing,
Pranic
pranic
healing,
or pranic, either one, I guess.
pranic.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this sounds interesting. I'm going to try that. And so she had a really cool setup where you go into a room where she is there, and then when what's her name?
Shraddha.
Shraddha. When
Yeah.
Shraddha was ready, then she moved me to a room with Shraddha, and then she would do my healing. And so as I was waiting in the room, Sharon and I started talking, and I think mentioned I had a book. You said, tell me about yourself. And I think I just published The Benevolent. I think I just published it like that week. So I was super excited. And you went, oh, and you start Googling. I could see your mind just start turning, and you started Googling it and stuff. And then that we became friends from there. Yeah, we kind of had a
Yeah,
little kindred spirit there going on.
totally.
And then that's how I met Brad, is that was another meetup that I went to was uh, Brad's meetup with Denise. And so,
It's a weird way how, like you said, kindred spirits
mhm.
run in the same circles, and then when you are in that crosswalk of life, you bump into each other and kind of already feel like you know them.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah,
that sense of familiarity there, so
yeah,
it makes communication and just the dynamic easier than a lot of the egoic stuff that you run into when you try to meet strangers out in public,
yeah,
or whether people are on dating apps or where people are just moving to a new city trying to make friends. You're set in one way, and it's like, oh, do I have to mold to this stuff again? And yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think I
So
was
true.
led to meet both of you.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that
definitely.
was the
Oh, for
pull
sure.
that I had. Yeah.
It's like a
So,
continuation,
yeah.
like there was no
Yeah.
time in between.
It's like we
No.
picked up where we left off on
Right.
whatever parallel timeline or universe we
Hmm.
were in. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, just pick up where we left off and run with it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Our mission is this planet now.
Yeah.
It
Mission.
is.
That's right. It is a mission. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so I'm going to pass it over to Brad. He's going to do the introduction of Sharon. And we're going to
Yeah.
get formal
I'm
now, Sharon.
We're going to get a little
Okay.
formal. I'm going to be the hype man here. And as Robin said, our guest is Sharon Sananda Kumara. Just to give a little bit of a resume and background, she's a certified psychic medium channel, spiritual counselor, hypnotherapist, and author of the aforementioned book, Awakened Soul, My Near Death Journey, Home Through Christ's Infinite Love. And it is a great book. She's also the visionary founder of the Kumara Academy of Transformation, which is an accredited institution that guides seekers towards deeper alignment with their divine blueprint. I think that would be a good place to enroll. Since
Yeah.
2005, Sharon dedicated her professional practice to the art of soul level healing, specializing in past life therapy, Akashic records readings, and mediumship. Her work gently illuminates the places where spirit, memory, and consciousness converge. And that's a mouthful. Offering her clients a chance to heal, awaken, and return to their true essence. And I think that is really what humanity is needing right now. But
Mhm.
Sharon's story carries more profound turning point, a near death experience in 2001 that reawakened her gift and opened the door to her life's calling. And that's why we're here today. From that threshold moment, she began walking a path guided by intuition, a much higher intelligence and perspective, to say the least, and an unwavering devotion of truth. So she's here to join us, share her wisdom, her journey, her insights she's gathered along the way, and she's continuing to learn and explore just like every soul is on this planet. So
Yeah.
everybody open your hearts. The conversation is going to feel better than it is to listen to. How are you, Sharon? How's the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, and thank you, Robin. It's
Yes.
well, Pacific Northwest is raining, and that's okay. We
What's
love the
new?
rain here. I know, right? Took me a little while to get used to it again when I moved back home, but yeah, I do love it. That's what keeps the screen.
And
Yep, it does. Beautiful.
we we have a common bond too. We come from the same place as
Hmm.
home, or your former home, in South Texas, here in San Antonio.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I was there 25 years.
yeah. And I'm
Hmm.
still here and waiting to get out at some point. I will be at some point.
I
But
love Texas and San Antonio. I made some really good friends there, and I look forward to going back all the time and visiting. So I had some really good times there, and that's where my near-death experience happened, and where I did have a huge, it had a huge impact on my awakening in Texas. So there was something about Texas that did it for me in that area.
the Lone Star State will
Mhm.
imprint a memory for a lifetime.
Yes.
It usually does. And yeah, I love Texas. Been here since I was 6 years old.
Mm.
I know the state well. And as they say, it's the only state you can drive 12 hours and still be in the same state. It's like you
Right.
haven't left. Have we left Texas yet? No. Half a
Right.
day is
Yeah.
gone and we're still in Texas. So yeah, it's
So true.
beautiful, but yeah, it's time for a change. And that is
Yeah.
where this story that we're going to talk about begins.
Yes.
And
Do you want me to start?
yeah,
Yeah.
Robin, what do you want? Did you want
Oh,
her to just
Yeah.
start, or we just want to kind of talk about NDEs in general? I mean, we just ping back and forth, and then we just
sure.
talk. So
That's
Well, I
good.
would like your story because it's so fascinating. And then we have two people that have NDEs on this show. We have
mm,
Sharon and Brad. Brad will talk about
Mm.
his too. And
sure.
it's just it's always been a very interesting subject for me and so fascinating. And so go ahead, Sharon. Uh, Now you've had two near-death
I have.
experiences.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have. And I remembered one when I was 9 after I had the one in 2001. So, if you want, I can share that quickly. But
Yeah,
Sure.
that'd be great.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the one in 2001 happened in New Braunfels, Texas, and some girlfriends and I were going inner tubing down the Guadalupe River, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Brad,
I
and
am.
people who live in that area or have gone to that area. And there was 5 of us for a girlfriend's birthday, and we took the shuttle bus down, to the river where they dropped us off, and then they came back to get us after 5 or 6 hours, however long it was. And we had a really, really good day, had a good time. And when we went to get back on the bus, which by the way, it was pulling a trailer that had our ice chests and our inner tubes in it. It's a little school bus that they were using as a shuttle bus. We went to get back on the bus for them to take us back to the outrigger so we could go home, and the bus was full. And I was the first one of our group, and so I stopped up there on the top of the steps, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'll turn, and I started to turn around, and they're like, no, come on back. You can stand in the aisle because it's not very far. So so we did. So we piled on the bus, and it was packed, probably twice as many people as it should have on it, and it was one of those small buses. And so he's it was a 4 on the floor shift, a manual shift. And as he's driving down the road, we're kind of jerking back and forth. Not kind of, we're jerking back and forth a little bit as he's driving. And at one point, and I'm up against, I forgot to share this. I'm up, not up against, but the behind me is the emergency exit door of the bus.
Mm.
So as he's pulling away from a red light, he shifts into first and then second, and then from second to third, we jerk really hard, and I'm thrown up against the emergency exit door. And at that point, the door pops open and I fall out of the bus. I fall backwards.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's going about 25, something like that, somewhere around there. And my first thought was, I can't believe I'm falling out of this bus.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
shock, and it was like slow motion too. When people have said that, it's true, and you may have experienced this too, both of you. And it's like slow motion. And then I hit the trailer hitch with my back. I bounced off that. I remember these bounces very, very well. I bounced off that onto the
Mm.
pavement, and it was 100, 102 degrees out. And
Wow.
so the pavement was pretty hot, but not that I noticed that, but I bounced off the pavement onto my side. And at that point, I scream in my head as loud as I can, "Stop, you're killing me." And that's when the tire of the trailer, because he hadn't stopped yet, he didn't know I had fallen out. He kept going.
Oh
They
my
couldn't get his
gosh.
attention because there was a lot of noise on the bus. Everybody was talking and laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
And at that point, when I screamed that, the back tire of the trailer ran over my neck and my head.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel
Hmm.
anything. I don't remember anything. I mean, I just remember that I popped out of my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, I
Yeah.
popped out of my body. And I'm floating above my body, looking down and seeing it in the road. And I see it. I will say that I was already having conscious out of body experiences before this. So I was used to being out of my body.
Okay.
Okay. When my stepdad died in 98, I had started uh, intentionally, consciously inducing out of body experiences so I could find him. That's a whole other
Mm.
story, of course. But
Okay.
and so I'm looking at my body and I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess I just died. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like natural for me. All right, well,
Yes.
this is
So
it.
you thought that.
Here I
Yeah.
You didn't
go.
say, "Am I dead?" You said, "Well, I died."
Okay. Well, I did, and I
Now
But
knew
you
where
know,
do I
that.
go?
to that point, and not mean to interrupt, but
Sure.
when this happens, you there's just a knowing, and there's really no vocabulary you that's designed to explain it. When you separate from the physicality of the third dimension of real life, you
Mhm.
just know you're dead. That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say. Sorry. Go ahead.
So true. So true. And it was seamless, and it was a feeling of pure peace and
Okay.
acceptance. Yeah. So you know, you know when that time comes, as long as you're aware, I guess. I don't know, but that's a whole
Mm-hmm.
other story too, spirit rescue kind of stuff.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, but and so I'm looking down and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is it. I died, because I was a lot older and than I was when I was 9, which is a different story. But
Yeah.
I see a commuter bus, excuse me, driving up to where my body is laying, one of those big commuter buses. And I think, oh gosh, I hope that bus doesn't run over my body because that would make a really big mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought. I had no attachment to my body whatsoever. I'm just like, gosh, that would be a big mess if that bus ran over my
Yeah.
body.
That's going to traumatize a
Wow.
lot of people if they saw that. Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
next thought. Okay.
Hmm.
Was it my friends? This is really going to ruin their day. Every year when my friend has her birthday, she's going to be all bummed out about this and everything like that. Because here I go and die on them. I'm thinking, I go and die on them. We had such a good day. So that was my next thought. And then I thought about, but it wasn't enough to make me want to come back. And And then I thought about my partner at the time, my boyfriend at the time, and he's not my partner anymore, but I thought, yeah, we had been together about 8 years. I'm like, this is really gonna hit him kind of hard, but he'll be okay. And then he'll be fine. He'll get through it. And then I thought about my
Okay.
sister who has her family. We're very close. We're just the two of us. And I thought, well, she'll have her family. And I could see them. I could see them
Really?
being upset. Yeah. I was taken on that timeline. I'm like,
Mm.
well, they'll be okay. She'll be okay. She has her family. And then I thought about my mom, who I am very close to. Um, Still, she's on the other side, but I helped take care of her at the time, and she just lived up the road from me then. And when I thought about my mom, I felt a presence behind me, and it was my stepfather. Well, I turned around, took my attention off the earth plane, and turned around, and it was my stepfather, who had again I um, shared had died in 1998, and we were very close.
Mhm.
So that was the first um, death in the family that really affected me, and things really started happening for me after then, where I needed to
Yeah.
know what happens when we die. And I started,
Mm.
reading books about the afterlife and stuff like that. And that's when I began inducing out of body experiences because I wanted to find him and make sure that
Yeah.
he was viable still, that that he didn't just disappear kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was raised Catholic and tangenting a little bit, and I didn't believe in I didn't resonate with the judgy of the Catholic teachings.
Yeah.
So
No,
Yeah.
me neither.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I wasn't religious in any way, but I still believed in Christ. I believed in God, that there's some
Hmm.
all-powerful being that watches over us, because I know I probably should have died long before that. I was a partier. So there
Yeah.
must be some powerful force watching over me.
Agreed. And we share that too.
Yeah, right? And we're meant to be here. So, so when I saw my stepfather, he says, first thing I hear him telepathically tell me is that it's not your time. I was super happy to see him, and he says, it's not your time. And I said, but I want to stay here with you. I was kind of arguing with him. I want to stay here. I want to be with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to come back. And
Yeah.
and he tells me quite a few things, but one was that I needed to be with my mom for her passing, that she would die soon, that
Mm.
she would pass soon, transition soon. And he still wasn't convincing me. So as we're communicating, which she did die 18 months later, as we're communicating, there's I notice movement on my right side, and I see the portal, what I call the ancestor portal, and I see opening. And it reminds me of the portal behind you.
That's
Those kind
crazy.
of colors.
Really.
Yeah.
Good job,
Really.
Robin. Good job,
Thank
Robin.
Mhm.
you. That's why I'm
Yes.
psychic, right, Sharon?
Yes, you are. Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Because it was like a blue, gray, pastel, but just yeah, it was yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Robin, didn't we
very
just
much.
talk about portals last night?
Yes, we are going to do a show on a podcast on
Oh,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
the synchronicities as I'm listening, I'm like, oh my God. Everything is
Yeah.
just like boom, boom, boom.
We
I
just
can't make
talked
this
about
up.
this last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been through many portals in my outer bodies, so they're fun and scary at the same time.
Hmm.
So, so the portal is opening up, and I see my ancestors. And I recognize the ones that I know from this life. And then there's others that I know are my ancestors, but I don't recognize, wouldn't recognize here, if that makes sense. I know
Okay.
them from there as a soul group
Okay.
members. And I notice that they're not really celebrating my, the welcome home, and I knew intuitively, I knew in my soul that there's a party when it's, when you go
Where's the
home.
party?
I'm like, where's
Supposed
the
to be.
party?
Where's everybody?
Right?
Yeah.
Why aren't you celebrating? Why aren't you saying
Yeah.
good job and all that?
Yeah.
Or not, just something to welcome me home. And so I'm like thinking, all right, something's up. I guess my dad's right. And while this is going on, all these thoughts are going through my head. I see a large portal that looks like the sun. And and
Wow.
I can't say for sure if it's within that portal or behind that portal. I don't know because there's no time and space. But I saw it growing, and it
Hmm.
looks like the sun, and it's bright like the sun. It's golden white like the sun.
Mhm.
And so I'm gazing at that, and that has my attention, and I see a figure move out of that portal. And I recognize, or I see a male moving quickly toward me, and he's wearing a white robe and the long dark hair and a beard. And I recognize him as Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
And right away, I flew to him. I fly to him because I'm missed him terribly. I
Yeah.
knew him, I recognized him, I missed him because I wasn't in my earth body anymore. I didn't feel like he would judge me, okay, which is something that he wouldn't
Mhm.
do anyway, but we have
Mhm.
stuff like that going on here, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Our cell
Definitely.
memories carry all that stuff, which
A
is,
lot. Yeah.
yeah, a story I share in my book about that afterwards. But and so I fly to him, and he embraces me, and we embrace. And he says the same thing my dad did. He said, "It's not your time."
Mhm.
I said, "I want to stay here with
Yep.
you." Right?
Well, of
And
course.
it's like a
There was-
disappointment too. It's like, oh, come
Mhm.
on, please.
Yeah, I know, right?
Please.
Right. That's why,
Did you
yes, totally.
did you feel that great love that everybody talks about, that energy of
Yes,
pureness?
Oh
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And when I told him I wanted to stay with him, he chuckled. Uh, that's just a beautiful sound that I can't describe.
Mm-hmm.
And he lifts my chin with his hand, and I look in his eyes, and what I saw was the brightest blue eyes. They were blue.
Wow.
And then as I'm gazing, and he's telling me again, it's not your time. And I feel so supported and so loved, like you're saying, Robin. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and his eyes, they don't, well, they change, but not changing. What I realize is I'm looking at the universe in his eyes.
Oh, wow.
The complete universe is in his
Wow.
eyes.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That gave me chills.
It gave
Wow.
me chills too because somebody told
Wow.
me that story about, I'm not trying to steal thunder or anything, but
Yeah.
somebody said that to me about seeing my eyes. I don't know
Mm,
what that meant,
Mm.
but
mm.
I'll take it.
Well, yeah,
Hmm.
our eyes are the windows of the
Yeah.
soul, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so as I'm gazing at what I know is the universe, all my memories, are coming back about who we are, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm gazing at his eyes and remembering the universe is within his eyes, within ours, like you say, Brad,
Mm-hmm.
I am mirroring. He's showing me that I am mirroring the universe within my eyes. So we are the universe,
Wow.
mirroring
Yeah.
through our bodies the universe. So we're
Wow.
basically merging with the universe. And then I felt a warmth in my heart center because I still thought I had a body, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's how he needed to come to me is through his body. Um, I felt a warmth and so much love that he mm, sent to my heart center, and we started merging in our heart center with so
Oh,
much love and so
fantastic.
much light. And I was enveloped in the light of love, God, his light,
Mhm.
and it's tangible. You feel
It's
it. I
real.
mean, you are the light.
Mhm.
We are the
Mhm.
light. This is just our conduit, right? You know that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I became the light, and anything I could have felt bad about, could have worried about, feelings I had of not wanting to go
Mhm.
back were totally gone.
Yeah.
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 And I floated in that space. I mean, it was just pure joy, pure bliss. Yeah, it's who we are, pure love.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know how
Yeah.
long it's there.
No, yeah, it's the 0 point. You go to this. I mean, every human, every living thing is a microcosm of the big macrocosm.
Mm,
And you eventually go back to that singularity where everything started, which is the universe or source, or you pick the name. Um, Same thing.
yeah, yeah. It's the light carries
Hmm.
information, carries is love,
Yep.
and yeah. And so I was there. I mean, I was back home in that space, and then he calls my name, and again, time didn't exist, so he calls my name, so I come back, and
Yeah.
to who I am is Sharon, and he asked me, would you, would you like to go on a journey with me? And
Hmm.
I said, well, yeah, duh, yeah.
Yeah. Who says
Now?
no to
Can we go
that?
now?
And he puts out his hand, and I take his hand. I put my hand in his. And as soon as I take his hand, we're flying through the cosmos. Or
Wow.
the cosmos is flying through us, moving through us. Who knows, right? I don't know.
Hmm.
I just feel like there's something about that. And
Yeah.
I like to share this part because I feel like it's pretty profound. It was for me. When when I was holding his hand, I could feel every line and crevice in his hand, or what seemed like every line and crevice in his hand were so tangible and so profoundly personal. Every line
Mm-hmm.
and crevice. Yeah. People have asked me, did he have a hole in his hand, from the crucifixion? And no, he did
Mm-mm.
not. I have never seen holes in his hand or his wrist. I understand that they would do that in the wrist, not the hand anyway,
Yeah.
back then.
Correct. Yep.
But yeah, so I have never seen that with him. Um, and so we're moving through the cosmos, lights, colors, everything. Um, I don't have a lot of memory. I don't know how long we were flying through the cosmos. And then at one point, we come across, and Robin, this is for you, come across a blue portal, a blue star.
Mhm. Oh.
Oh, Blue Star.
Blue star. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I know that name.
That. Yay.
Yeah. And we dive through it. We dive into it, the star.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
We dive into that blue star, and we come out, and I see a turquoise, aqua blue, turquoise planet orb. And I realize it's a planet. And we move toward the planet. We're hovering above the planet. And I recognize this planet as a water planet, an ocean planet that I know is a home planet for me. That is,
Awesome.
yeah, that I am. And I've got goosebumps talking about it. I always do, I always get them.
Hmm.
And I'm beginning to, the matrix that is within me that's connected to that planet is being activated.
Mm.
Okay.
I love how
Yeah.
you put that. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
resonate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we have a matrix with the earth as well.
Yeah.
That's what
Yep.
connects us to the earth. And so mine was being activated, whew, man, to that planet with her.
Mhm.
And I felt the mother of the planet, her matrix it was like a welcome home kind of thing. It was
Yeah.
basically like that. And what I was able to do, or what she helped me do, or, my higher self, Yeshua, whoever's running the
Yeah.
show at that time, I was able to move my awareness as the planet, the mother plant of the body of the planet. I was her.
You're a part of it,
I
or you were her.
expanded my awareness. No, I was her.
Okay.
I, we can do that with Mother Gaia here too.
Hmm.
And so I was her. I had the awareness as her, and I loved. I have felt so much immense love for every living creature, everything on my body, because I was her
Yeah.
body. I
Yeah.
was able to merge with her
Awesome.
consciousness as the body of that planet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I
That's
had
amazing. I never
it
thought of it that way. That's
mhm.
amazing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like a hive mind concept where everything can unify into that, and you can unify into everything almost.
Yes. Yes.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Totally.
That's
Yeah,
good.
we can, as we expand our awareness, we can connect to the matrix of the mother of whatever planet that we are attached to.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so that we're living a life and then we're attached to that planet. And so
Yeah.
I was able to do that. And that's what that's what she was helping me remember. We are all one. All of the living beings, everything on this planet is and everything's living, right? Everything has consciousness some
Hmm.
way, somehow. Uh,
Hmm.
we are all one. And so I felt her immense love and care for every being on the planet. And I felt I was able to move my awareness to like the smallest single cell amoeba on the planet who also loved and cared for her body, for her as the mother, as the caretaker for that planet, and everything in between. I could move my awareness back and forth as
Wow.
the fullness of the body of the planet and down to the smallest particle. So, yeah, that was
That's
crazy.
an experience.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's beyond profound because that's when you get it,
yeah,
because w- the debates are still on consciousness itself. There's still the debates on there of what it really technically is. And it's more or less something that it's not in the brain. Um, it's not
No.
inward, although you can introspectively and go inward to your higher self, but consciousness is outward. So we see the physical universe, stars, planets, moon, all that stuff. Great. It's pretty. It's material. But there's energetic fields that are behind that. And then behind that, there's the archetypical fields of a collective consciousness somehow brought this together. And then
yeah.
there's the universal
Hmm.
mind. So the universal mind is not an ego, it's a logo of everything, like the hive mind. Like she tapped into that matrix, tapped into that aspect of that one spot in the universe, at one planet, which is probably just like Earth, a pin drop in a vast infinity. And then you go to pure awareness, which is the source of being with one, which you were also simultaneously experiencing when you were on this little journey with Yeshua.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, Sharon, why do you think he wanted to bring this to you? What is the purpose in your life to have this awareness? And I guess what I'm trying to bring out is he showed you something amazing. And
Hmm.
now what are
Yeah.
you going to do with it? He's saying, now I'm showing you this for a reason. I know he's showing you that for a reason.
Right. Well, what I remembered was that he let me know that once my mission here is finished on
Hmm.
Earth, that I can, I can choose any time, but that I have the freedom and the awareness
Nice.
now to bring this consciousness and a lot more of my consciousness onto that planet because
Okay.
it's like fifth or sixth dimension. I would say at least fifth dimensional planet.
Okay.
And and whew, I feel it already.
It's
Now,
it's an
It's a lot
upgrade.
easier.
It's
yeah,
like
What?
an upgrade.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Because I have a life there now, and I
Yep.
chose to. We all, we're
Hmm.
multidimensional. Yeah,
Hmm.
and so, but
Tell
I
us
chose to.
tell us who you are on that planet.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say that as the matrix of the mother, as the mother, the planet, planetary being, I also was reintroduced to my masculine counterpart, which was
Mm-hmm.
who's also the planet. Is consciousness of the planet. There's a feminine and a masculine.
And a
I'm
And
masculine.
so glad
Okay.
you brought
Of
that up.
course. Of
yeah.
I'm so
course.
glad you pointed that out.
hmm Which, yeah, was pretty intense, let me tell you. It's pretty intense and very
Wow.
intense love affair. A planet. You're a planet and you have a counterpart, a divine
Yeah.
counterpart. So,
Yeah.
um, so as far as your question, Robin, we did dive down onto the planet in the ocean, and I was
Okay.
re-merged with my my body there, my being there on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
and I uh, remembered my mate, excuse me, and my children. I have children there. I didn't raise any children in this lifetime. I have children, and I was reintroduced to my parents, my community, and there's dolphins there. They're my caretakers on that planet. We have many of the sea creatures that are that we
Mm-hmm.
are family.
Yep.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought that about a lot of the sea life, the marine life here on Earth, that
Mm-hmm.
a lot, I don't know a lot, but some of them certainly don't seem like their origin from Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say the
Yep.
same dolphins would apply to that.
Yep.
Octopus, any octopod,
Jellyfish. Yep.
Yeah.
jellyfish,
Mm-hmm.
whales,
hmm
um,
Yep.
the
Mermaids.
intelligent mermaids. Yep, and they do exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the level of intelligence and the way they communicate globally underwater, uh, just that in
Mm-hmm.
itself tells you that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yep.
unreal.
And I
hmm
channeled that in my The Power of the Benevolent. I did a lot of water species, a lot of water planets that I saw. And
Yes.
that's is amazing. It's amazing. And I do believe that a lot of those species are here on this earth for a purpose. And I actually even believe some of the water has come down from some of those planets to merge with our waters
hmm
because their water is alive. Their water is totally different than the water here upon this planet.
hmm
So,
At least now, because of us.
yeah.
It used to
Well,
be pure at some
yes.
point,
Well,
or purer at some point.
man is a destructive being, but we're trying to counterattack that.
But yeah, we're
Hmm.
a young
Yes.
species. Let's just say
Yes.
that. We're
Yeah.
not that well developed, but that's why we came here to help us develop into
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, spacefaring and peaceful race.
So when you saw
Hmm.
your family, your community, so is this actually who you are? Is this where you started? Or is this just a life, a past existence?
Yeah.
Or all at the same time.
True.
Yeah, that probably.
True.
I don't know for sure. I mean, I did have
Okay.
a soul clearing where I saw from where I was, and I write about it in my book, from spark of from God, from source, all the different avatars I've taken along the way, from single cell amoeba all the way up to
Hmm.
back to source. So, we've all had many, and we will continue to have many avatars and missions and stuff, living on different planets. We're planet hoppers. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
experience. Yeah, that's what source experiences through us. But as far as a
Hmm.
home, I do feel that that is my favorite home.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Good.
my memories. It was very difficult for me to come back from that because it
Yeah.
was such a yeah, intense homecoming, so to speak. But
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. I know we're all from source, right? So
Yeah.
it was just a really
Good.
We're all
nice home.
figuring it
Yeah.
out our own way somehow together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're here for each other. too.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so I feel like that was a gift that Jesus gave to you to have
Mhm.
that knowledge and to have the feeling of that intense love that you
Right.
had with a soulmate, uh, a
Yeah.
masculine. I think that's quite amazing. Not too
Yes.
many people have that
No.
Yeah.
opportunity.
It took me a long time to share that I saw myself as a water being, and she was mer-like. My family was mer-like. Definitely, I've
Hmm.
been attracted to mers
Yeah.
and dolphins all my life, and now I know why, right?
That's
But
so
yeah,
funny. Me too. I love dolphins and whales. I grew up with loving them.
well, you're a mermaid.
I know. And I draw
Yeah.
them and I channel
Think
them.
about it. When we
Mhm.
and I kind of I usually go off on rants about it. It's like, okay, you see mermaids in fiction, The Little Mermaid in Disney. Okay, you see all that.
Mhm.
Why do you think that archetype, that figure, is the way it is? Why do you think a mermaid looks? Why do you think in fiction they create a mermaid? Where does that come from?
Right.
It comes from a consciousness that's non-local, from a place to where those mermaids really do look like that and exist elsewhere than where we're at
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It
But
imagination is usually what is credited for stuff like that. However, imagination is infinite and contains everything within the entire physical universe, because the entire physical universe contains anything and everyone's imagination all at the same time.
Right.
So it converges. So when somebody writes a mermaid character and describes a mermaid with a human like torso and a fin like fish like lower half, there's a reason for
mhm.
that aside from
Yeah.
just imagination. I'd credit imagination a little bit, but they pulled that form from somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, also too, if you go back a long way, I studied this. Christopher Columbus in his writings talks about mermaids and mermen, and they're called Nereids, but they weren't
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. They weren't beautiful. That became a lore or, existence later. But a lot of them are not beautiful, just so everybody knows that. There's mermaids, mermen that are bald. They have like elf-like ears. They're whitish. And actually, one of them was captured on a voyage of, I don't know if it was Russians or this was like a dozen years ago, and they were down really deep, and then all of a sudden their lights went out inside the module they were in, and then something came up to the side, hit it, and then took off. And so they brought it into slow motion, and it was a human form, and no human could survive in the waters there. Pretty much whitish gray, had the pointed ears, bald, and it had like large, almost like alien eyes, almost like that. And it
Interesting.
was a man. It looked more man-like and very muscular. And then the fins came off the arms, and I don't think we saw the bottom part of it. I don't remember that. It seemed like it had two legs, but it was like going really fast.
Like they were webbed.
Yeah, and so I mean,
And they
there's
brought they brought it on board. They caught it and
no,
brought
no,
it on the.
no, no. They were in this round
So,
module, and
mhm.
they
Oh,
were
okay.
deep, and so they're investigating the depths. I think around Russia's
Okay.
waters.
They were submersed. Got it.
Yeah, and
Got
so
it.
they're submerged, but then their lights kind of went off inside the module, which makes that you see the outside really well. And then this form came up to they had three, I think they had three windows that were, that bubbled out. And so on one of the windows, it came up to it and it hit it like, what are you doing? Or what are you? And then it
Yeah.
it flung off. It's like, and then they just evaluated that, and it was like 10 seconds of footage. It was so short. But
I
yeah,
remember
I
seeing
mean,
that. When that
yeah,
came on, Robin, you remember, what was it like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that?
yeah,
It right away. all the propagandists started saying
Oh
that it
yeah.
was a fake, it was this, it was
Hmm.
that,
Yeah.
as soon as it came out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
They
I
Of
said
think
that was a
course.
real
he looked
mermaid.
very real. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because they brought it into slow motion. You saw the webbed hands when it put its hand on there. The hands were
Yeah.
webbed. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I know
crazy.
which one you're talking about. And if, you know, I mean, of course, the misinformation, disinformation campaign's always going to come out
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they don't want you to think any differently. But in an ocean that we've not even really explored a fraction of,
Hmm.
uh, because it's so deep for us to explore physically, it's
Hmm.
difficult to and deadly to. Why wouldn't that be down there?
Totally.
Of
Why? I
course.
mean,
There's
why wouldn't
cities.
any
There's
of this
lots.
happen? I mean,
The
look how long
cities.
it took
There's
just
lots of
to
stuff.
get yeah, just to get the giant squid mystery solved. They finally got a picture of it. And that was fairly in human years recently. So, yeah, there's some stuff down there, way, way down there.
Yeah.
That's not hard to believe, but yet everybody wants to dismiss it so immediately. And that is the aspect of all of this near death experiences, whatever mysteries in the ocean, other intelligences. Why the immediate go to is how can I make sense of this to dismiss that it's not a monster, a mermaid, or whatever? Why not just interpret it for what it is and you saw and experienced and
Hmm.
felt
Yeah.
and let it be?
Hmm.
No, the media wants to completely assuage the whole human mind. They don't want a hive mind like what Sharon was talking about when she went to that planet. They don't want a hive mind because when a hive mind unites and unifies, it it does it's
It's
limitless.
incredible. It
Yeah,
is.
it's
Hmm.
limitless.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's what happens. I mean, if you study bee colonies, the reason bee colonies work so well is because they all vibrate literally to
Hmm.
create something, and the product that they create we consume. And the product that we create and we consume, which is honey, of course, doesn't expire. It's one of the
Yeah.
purest natural
Yep.
creations by nature that doesn't go bad.
Yep.
Explain that.
Right.
Yeah. It's true.
Nobody's dismissing that.
Yep.
True.
uh,
Yeah. Yes. Just to finish up real quick. So he had to call my name again because I didn't want to come back from the from the water world. And
Hmm.
um and so I came back and we have a conversation about me going back to Earth. And I said, okay, on one condition, that I know that you are with me all the time in a tangible manner, that you walk with me, you help me, yes, I have to know tangibly that you are with me, not just something that's okay, well, I kind of feel something. It has to be tangible. He said, okay,
You're
it's a deal.
negotiating.
I'm negotiating with Jesus.
I'm
Yes.
going back.
yeah, and I
And
love in
when
the
I
book
he,
how
want
you
this
you
and
see
this
him
and
in
this.
capri pants, and you
I
see him
did,
in a hat and stuff, and I'm like, wow, what a way
he,
to dress.
he is a funny person for sure. He's hilarious. And so he said, okay, it's a deal. And then I'm back on the ground in New Braunfels, and I jump up and run to the side of the road. And
I
my,
can't believe you jumped up. You just
Mhm.
got ran over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
really.
I mean, no broken bones, no
no
crushed
broken
skull,
bones,
no clavicle, nothing.
nothing. Well, I have
Wow.
road rash. My back does need maintenance, and I hang upside down to keep the pressure off my spine, you know, regularly. And
Inversion tables. Yeah.
yes, yeah, oh, lifesaver. And yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of a nerve damage in my neck, head wobble kind of thing. But
Okay.
other than that, I'm
That's
I'm fine. I do have was losing a lot of hair, so I have some scars on my head from, hitting the
Yeah.
pavement and the tire running over my head. They joked with me in the hospital that I had
That's
tire tracks
crazy.
on my head. So,
Yeah, I read that in your book, and
yeah.
the nurse is like, "Yeah, you got tire tracks, but something was definitely looking over you," is what
Yes,
one of the nurses told you. And I mean,
I did.
obviously, something was. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was it? Well, I guess you wouldn't know, but at that point, I'm sure in the interim, people are calling paramedics. They see this happen. Clearly, if I saw somebody got run over, their head got run over, um, that is a vivid image in my mind that probably wouldn't go away ever. Even though knowing you're
Yeah.
okay, it's still something that that's definitely not something you see every day. But just
Trauma.
to
Yeah. To see
process
it.
that trauma, to see someone
Yeah.
else go through that immense trauma is traumatizing. So
And
Right.
your
I can only
friends,
imagine. Yeah, your friends were right there, like,
yeah,
oh
did your
my
friends
God.
see that?
You know, they they knew I fell out of the bus. We never really had a a conversation about what they saw. I know that they have not gone to inner tubing down the river. Since because I yeah. Um, This was in
Yeah.
2001. I moved to Oregon in 2004. So yeah, we didn't have a lot of conversations about it because I was laid up for quite a while. I had a lot of
Hmm.
pain. So I didn't just go back
Okay.
to work the next day kind of thing. I was laid up
Hmm.
and and they were around to help me with healing and stuff like that, but we didn't really talk
Hmm.
about that. Um I do I do know that what I remember, I see this 24 years ago, I do remember that someone one of the cars that came up behind the bus stopped down the road and then came to see if I was okay. They stopped to make sure I was, how I was, that was behind the bus, behind the trailer. I just
Okay.
remember that my ear was bleeding really bad and they were worried about my ear bleeding from a
Hmm.
concussion.
Hmm.
And the paramedics put me on a spine stabilizer, and
Mhm.
but my ear was just kind of torn apart from the pavement,
Yeah.
so they
Hmm.
glued it back together. But yeah, there
Hmm.
was no concussion, nothing broken, um, just just banged up really bad. And
Yeah.
I do believe that the light the light bath, emerging with the light, probably healed my
I was
body.
going to say that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because the pain's always afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like the water world was like a baptism kind of thing,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good,
that's
yeah,
good.
that's a,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's great. Yeah. Wow.
it probably was.
Hmm. But yeah, he appeared in my life just like he said he would.
Mm.
Took a little while, but and then some. And he's still with me, of course, but
Yes.
we're buds.
That's great.
He's my
No, that's
everything.
great. Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think once you experience that feeling, you will ever forget it. You will
No.
never forget that
No.
love experience. Did you get that, Brad? Did you get that far in your NDE?
No, I call my Indian not nearly as cool as Sharon's or some of the others that you hear about
Well,
because
We're all cool.
I don't
it,
think you can rate it, Brad.
well, I call it an abbreviated version of one. And
Okay.
so I'm in the gym, I'm done working out. There's irony here, right? You're at the place that you go to take care of yourself so you don't have a heart attack,
Yes.
the
Yes.
gym,
Yes.
right? And I
Yeah.
don't go,
Get
yeah,
healthy. Yeah.
exactly.
Strengthen the
And
heart. Yeah.
maintain, yeah, and
Yep.
maintain yourself and your health. And I've always been competitive in sports, even in my midlife years. It's just I'm hyper. I'm very physical. I can't sit still. I fidget. That's why I have a little fidget toy, ADHD, but it's what I do. And I'm at the gym. I'm done working out. No, so this isn't during the work. I'm done working out. I'm just kind of cooling off. And the sense of just not feeling well came over me. Like I don't, and of course you try to rationalize. It's like, okay, maybe I need to go home and I need to eat, or maybe I didn't drink enough water or something. Maybe my sugars are low. And
Mhm.
I go to the into the men's locker room and I sit down on the bench there and I splash some cold water on my face and then just sit there for a second. And then all of a sudden, like when you do not feel like when they say your body goes limp and you have no control over it, but you're conscious of it, that's what it felt like. Eyes rolled back in my head and I was sitting on the bench. I fell backwards. I was out, but I do remember the back of my head because I had a concussion. The back of my head hit the cement floor in the men's locker room.
Wow.
And I'm laying there on my back and my feet are kind of a 90-degree angle because it's still over the bench. How long? I don't know. It was a Friday night, and it's not one of these big commercial gyms, so there wasn't a whole lot of people. There was uh,
Mm.
it's a locally owned place, and I wake up and I see three of the personal trainers that I know that are working there, and I don't know, Sharon, if this you can relate, but when you came to when you were conscious, of course, everybody is kind of like huddled around you. Have you ever seen somebody's face and they have this particular look on it that when you look at it, you know that there's something wrong because they're looking at you and it's like, okay, if you have
Yeah.
something to say, tell me. And it's just I don't know how to explain it. All three of them had this, and I know these guys, they had this facial expression like, oh shit, like something's really bad. And that's what immediately went through my head. And one guy, this guy, Tony, was kind of crouched down because I'm on my back and he was waking me up. He's like, hey, man, you okay? What happened? And I was like, what? What? I don't know what's going on. I really don't. He goes, let's take you out to the couch in the lobby there. Yeah, come on, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. He's calming the worry or panic
Hmm.
that would probably ensue otherwise. Because I'm looking at everybody and everybody's like freaking out. But this guy, uh, he's maintaining it and he's controlling the situation. And he goes, yeah, come on. And I'm like, okay, give me a minute. I couldn't move. I couldn't get my leg off the bench and push myself up. This is no,
Mm.
and then I'm out again. I'm in and out of consciousness. So they all three um, basically dead man, fireman carried me to the couch. And later on, one of the the other trainers was telling me, he's like, dude, you were heavy. I'm 194 pounds, 5'11". I'm not the biggest guy. I'm not the smallest guy, but when you're dead weight and you're that big, you're probably another 50 pounds heavier. And there's no
Mm.
movement. There's no life in me. And then the light that you talk about, this light that is, I give it an analogy like imagine you're in your bedroom and you open the curtains and there's 100 helicopters shining those big searchlights that they have. You know how bright those are.
Mhm. Mhm.
Imagine all of those shining into your bedroom. You wouldn't be able to see. And if
Yeah.
you did stare, your eyes would probably be damaged. But it was brighter than that. But I could
Wow.
see it, just like Sharon was saying. You see that immense
Yeah.
intensity of the bright light, but you can see it because you can see it. It's meant for you to see. So I was looking into it, and same thing. It felt like I tell people it felt like being at the spa. It was really soothed, really relaxed. Um, my body wasn't tense. Usually, my body's tense in some area. Uh, it just like, oh, I could get used to this. Like I'm on vacation on the beach, nothing's wrong. And the light got brighter and brighter. I'm like, that's when I'm like, the physicality part that we talked about in the beginning of the conversation, that detachment was recognized. And I was like, oh shit, I'm dead. I'm dead.
You did think that. You did
I
get
did
that
the
far.
well,
Okay.
it, like just like I was telling
You
Sharon,
do.
you know that detachment from the physicality of your life that you're aware of consciously now. And then when you die, you realize that separation. It's hard to explain. I can't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really an experiential process in order for you to really get it. So I do my best to try to find the words, but there really aren't any words. And that's why a lot of people who have NDEs, they dismiss it as, oh, that's just your brain protecting itself. It's like, no, no, you don't get it
Mm-hmm.
because it didn't happen to you. When it
Yeah.
happens to you and you come back, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's when I was like, yep, I'm dead. I didn't know why though. I didn't know why. I don't know. Maybe if you knew, Sharon, when you had died, if you understood it was because of the head injury, but I didn't know why. I mean, and does it matter at this point, really? I think when you do die, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the whole aspect of it too, is it doesn't matter how you die. You're not physically alive in the third dimension anymore. So it was like immediately I'm like, okay, I'm dead. But you know what? I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. This isn't so bad. You
Yeah.
don't want to go back, as Sharon was saying. It's
Mhm.
like there's a reason why there's an attachment to that feeling. And I think death is not meant to be, everybody's so fearful of it, but like they make it like an aspect of horror in certain
Right.
religions
Yeah.
and certain cultures, the whole judginess. Oh, you didn't do this and you die, you know, hell awaits, that kind of thing. And none of that,
Yeah.
none of that, none of that.
Yeah.
Bright light, immensely peaceful, soothing, as best word I can explain, soothing. And to the degree of like, I'm dead, but all right, not so bad. I didn't have the extended version where I was thinking about family, friends, life experiences, because it tells you, the light's telling me this, not audibly, but it's telling me this. Um, this this is like a snapshot of what you have to look forward to, but
Wow.
not yet, not yet. And I'm like thinking the
Wow.
same thing. Really, please, come on. I'm I'm almost 50. Take me. It's like, here's what you got to look forward to, and it's beautiful, but
Mm-hmm.
not yet.
Mm.
And then the next thing I remember, I'm on that couch that the dead man carried me to, and I hear the heavy footsteps of boots and, moving around the floor. And I wake up and my shirt's pulled up and the paramedics are there. And they got this big box machine and, putting the little nodes on your chest to measure stuff. I guess an
Yeah.
EKG, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Don't even know what's going on. I realize they're paramedics, and I do remember somewhat being carried to the couch, not much. And the main paramedic, he was like, "Do you have a hospital you prefer to go to?" I'm like, "No, I mean, just give me a minute. I'll go home." He's like, "No, dude."
I just
He's like, he grinned at me too, kind of like you're
Yeah.
you're something else already, huh? He's like,
Yeah.
no, they have that legal liability and that obligation ethically and morally, because they're first responders, and they are,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, that's a calling too. They're healers in a way, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he grinned at me. He's like, no, you're not going home. And I said, I don't know, the closest one. That's all I told him. I said, the closest one. And they put me into the stretcher. It all happened so fast too. I'm in a daze or whatever. At that time, I already had a needle in my arm with whatever they're giving to me. So I was probably starting to feel a little loopy. Then
Mm.
I remember I'm in the hospital, get put into like this bay, this big, the curtains all around. it's like there were people waiting for me. And I think that's what they do. They call ahead, hey,
They
we
do.
got a heart attack.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Get a
We had a heart
triage.
attack.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, we got a heart attack patient coming in, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm in there. 5 or 6 people come in, a couple doctors, nurses. They're asking me a bunch of questions, talking to me. At the same time, they're taking all my clothes off, putting a gown on me, and they're telling me what's going to happen, walking me through the process. The typical questions: are you intoxicated? Have you taken any cocaine or stimulant? I'm like, no. I said, just got done
Really? They
working
ask
out.
you that?
Yeah, I'm tired and just got done
Wow.
working out. And they're like, okay, we're just asking, and they take me to the cardiac catheter lab. And like, they were waiting for me. And
Hmm.
they go through my femoral artery. They dry shave my leg to get the needle in. And I, they're again, they're pumping me. They pump you with these drugs, I guess, to soothe you and calm you down. You don't feel it until it really hits you a few seconds later, and you're just kind of like in a state of like, what? So he's describing what he's, and hats off to them. They're calm about it. They're telling you what they're
Hmm.
doing as they're doing it, just to kind of put you at ease. And really, at that point, I didn't give a shit what they're doing. I'm just trying to figure everything out. And he goes, "You might feel a little pinch." I did feel the pinch in my heart where they put the angioplasty, the artery, the left
Stent.
circumflex. Yeah, and then they put a
Okay.
stent in there. Yeah, and it, afterwards, they patch you up and you're in the cardiac ICU floor. So I had a heart attack. That's when I realized, obviously, I had a heart attack. And my cardiologist is making the rounds, and he comes into my room, and he's like asking me, he goes, "I don't know why you're here." Because I had what's called a STEMI. You learn a lot when you have a heart attack, what the medical ease that these guys speak. And a STEMI is also known as a widowmaker, which is
Hmm.
and there's different types of heart attacks. If you want to classify scaled of 0 to 10, a widowmaker is 10. And there's really none worse than a widowmaker. And statistically, of all the heart attacks that happen in the United States, at least, of the 800,000 something, 12,000 are considered STEMIs. The survival rate is minimal, depending on the demographics. Most people who have STEMIs are obese, smokers, diabetic, hypertensive. They already have some of the checks in the boxes. I had none of that. I have none of that.
Yeah.
I've never had
Yeah.
high blood pressure. I don't have cholesterol medication. I eat a fairly clean diet. I've been active my entire life, but not that day. Not
Yeah.
that day. So he's asking, he's like, that's why he's saying, I don't understand why you're here.
Yeah.
He's like, you had the worst heart attack and you technically should be dead. Literally, he
Yeah.
goes, you should be dead right now. I said, okay. So what are you saying? I'm still looped up or whatever. So he's there with his colleague, another cardiologist, and I'm like, so do I get to go home now? Are you releasing me?
Right.
So
Can I
again,
drive
just like,
home? You
yeah,
can let
just
me drive
exactly,
home.
just like
Just
the
had a heart
paramedic. I
attack.
was like,
Should be
yeah, just
dead,
like the
but I want to go
paramedic's
home.
grinning at me. Yeah, I said, no, so no, give me a few minutes, I'll go home. And the paramedic kind of grinned and chuckled. Now I get it. And now these two
Yeah.
cardiologists, uh, they looked at each other and kind of laughed. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're not going home tonight. I was like, well, why not? He said, he goes, let me break it down for you. And then he did the whole medical breakdown of the type of heart attack I had. And he explained it in like, I'm going to have a heart to heart with you, no pun intended. And basically said, I'm going to need a couple of CT scans. I want your blood every 6 to 8 hours. So FYI, even if you're
Mhm.
sleeping, there's going to be a phlebotomist come in and poke you with the needle to take a couple of vials.
Yeah.
I need an echo on you, and then I need a leaving echo on you to see
Echocognitive.
what's going on. And he goes, then we'll talk about going home. And I'm like, shit. And I have all these. I don't realize how many nodes and little things that they stick on you when you're in the
Yeah.
hospital. And I had a constant blood pressure cuff that was always going off every half hour, and it was low. The numbers were great, but I'm laying there trying to figure this all out. Like, what could possibly have triggered the heart attack? I mean, there's a million questions to ask, but I don't know which ones to ask to get the right answers, because
Yeah.
really at the end of it all, that's what we try to do, is figure it out. And like, why does it even matter? Just like I said earlier, when
Yeah.
you're dead, it doesn't matter how you die, you're dead.
Mhm.
So that's when you just kind of get that breakthrough epiphany where you have been kicked in the ass by the universe, and you have a
Yeah.
gift of a second life.
Hmm.
Now you go figure it out.
Right.
And but not like go figure it out, you don't know anything, because I was already I've already had my awakenings, and I was on my journey.
Mhm.
But this was kind of like, oh, you think you've had a few awakenings and you're on your journey and you think you're okay now? Yeah, well, watch this shit. And now you get a full-blown STEMI heart attack kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how I'm processing this. So that was the final exclamation point. And it's like, okay, you go figure it out, but you got the snapshot of what's awaiting,
Hmm.
and we gave you the gift of a second life. What are
Yep.
you going to do with it?
Yep. That's it. Yep.
So, and it puts a whole new twist in perspective. And I can tell you, and I told Robin and other people this, it's almost as though you have superpowers, if that makes sense. When you come, these moments to where you realize the abilities of your consciousness and your mind and your body, what it can do. And I
Mhm.
see a perspective on things from a million different angles. And I can almost precog what people are going to do. I can read people like they've got a manual stamped on their body of
Yeah.
who they are, what kind of person they are. All I need to do is watch you move and say a word or two, and I can almost predict what kind of person you are and what you're going to be doing next. And it's weird, eerie, not scary, um, but I think that's just a hint of what of of a lot more to be unveiled.
So, Brad, you feel
Mm.
like you came back with something of a altered consciousness to do that, or what do you feel that happened to you that you have this ability now?
Altered consciousness for sure.
Okay.
I was already kind of into that thing. I was already
Okay.
kind of studying and diving into that with the meetup groups and stuff. Because this happened a little over a year ago, August of
Oh, wow.
2024. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
August of 2024. So it's fairly recent. And I think I was already kind of on the journey of, raising my consciousness and awareness, but this kind of put it in turbo mode, like, hurry the hell up, because you got some shit to do with it, and you need to get to work, and we need to give you a little kick in the ass to do that. So we're going to kill you. We're
Yeah.
going to kill you, but we're going to let you live, you
But we're gonna
know?
bring you back,
Yeah, we're going to
just like
really.
Sharon.
Exactly. We're going to run you over, or we're going to make your heart stop somehow. We're going to do something to you to where you're going to feel it and understand, like, I should be dead. Sharon should be dead.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Statistically, being run
Yeah.
over, your head and neck ran
Yes.
over,
Oh, yeah.
that would kill just about anybody else.
Right. Well,
And
I'm pretty hard-headed, so yeah.
Obviously.
I, I was
Now
going
we
to go
know.
back and say that there's a reason why that type of impact or injury or trauma didn't kill you. There's something about um, there's something I read one time in a book. It was like make yourself hard to kill, and it
Right.
what they meant by that is stay and whatever you're able to do to your body health wise, physically, keep it in
Yeah.
peak condition, worship it like it's a temple, take care of it, be
Mhm.
careful what you put in it, what etc., and make sure you get the sleep and rest and you clean it, and it's your vessel, right? So make
Your body is
yourself
a temple.
it
Yep.
very much so, and make yourself hard to kill. And there's something about, obviously, I the doctor told me, the cardiologist said, he goes, whatever you're doing, because when he did release me, I was like, am I on some, because usually I put patients like this on a cardio rehab plan, which is basically going into a room with a bunch of folks who are not physically active and they teach them how to be physically active. Like, this is how we're going to go for a walk every day to rehab the heart. He's like,
Yeah.
you don't need that. He goes,
Yeah.
you don't need that. And he said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. He
Hmm.
goes, he
Mhm.
goes, give it about 6 weeks before you go balls to the wall like you're doing, but
Yeah.
ease into it, but keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you're eating, keep eating. The supplements you're taking, I'm fine with. And he
Yeah.
goes, always hydrate with electrolytes, which I do.
Oh,
So
okay.
I made myself hard to kill, so to speak. And that's probably what saved me physically.
Yeah.
So, but I had to, it's a complete, it's, if I was overweight, diabetic, I smoked, and I had a STEMI and lived, yeah, miracle, I can understand. But he said, he goes, I don't have guys that look like you at your age come in here and have STEMIs,
Hmm.
widowmakers. And he goes, usually we have them on the floor, not very many, and they've had double bypass and all the other severe stuff to save their life that goes with it. But he goes, you're I left after 2 days, the ICU. He's like, you're walking out of here in 48, a little over more than 48 hours, and you just had a widow maker. He goes, I really want you to think about that when you get home. And he goes, uh, my assistants or whatever will call and make it, I want to see you in 6 weeks. Then I want to see you in, the follow-ups and stuff. They put you on a protocol of medications. I went off all of those early. In January, I'm slated to see him again. He cut my statin in half already. He goes, I don't know what you're doing, man. He goes, but I think in January, just to keep the protocol, cut it in half just for a barely minimum amount. And he goes, in January, I'm thinking you're going to be off of it. And he goes, I that's what I think. And he goes, I can tell you most heart attack victims, when I put them on statins, it's for life,
Mm.
but not me. So
Did
there's something miraculous about this.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
incredible. I have a
Yeah,
question,
Yeah.
Brad.
please.
Did you remember your NDE right away? Because I didn't remember mine right away.
No,
Okay.
it,
Yeah.
it took a while. Thinking is like,
Interesting.
Mhm.
then the
It's
little bits of
common.
that. Yeah,
Is it?
it is
Okay. I
common.
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Little bits of the light I was starting to slowly remember. And then you kind of, I guess, in a dream, you remember it, and it's so vivid. You wake up and you think about it. You think, yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, this is what happened. That's
Right.
how.
You just
That's
know.
yeah.
Do
No.
That's
you
how it tells
both
you. Yeah.
Right.
do you both feel like you had visitations after it? Could you feel like in your room you're being watched, or you felt like you had some sort of visitations, or
Go ahead, Sharon.
from, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, I know that I had friends that I was in on an internet group, a spiritual internet group, and they they made plans to come during the night and send me healing, sit with me and send me healing.
Okay.
Right.
And they all said, not they all, but a few of them said that they saw a woman sitting with me who was holding my hand.
I remember that in your
Mm-hmm.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
awesome.
who she is. My mother was still in the body, and I felt like she was
Mhm.
some kind of a guide or you know,
Yes.
family member for sure. Um, but yeah, when after my dad passed, I felt him around me all the time.
Okay.
And of course, Christ, when I
Yeah.
started working with him,
Well, you made a
yeah,
deal. He
I
better.
made a
Yeah.
deal. It took a
I mean,
while for me to remember it, but yeah.
he's being a bit of a smartass with you wearing capri pants and stuff,
Isn't that
so
funny? I know.
so yeah,
That's funny.
that is kind of
Yeah.
a
What about you,
as far
Brad?
So,
as yeah, as far as
yeah.
presence, there's an energy. Sometimes I feel it and you get somatic responses to it, right? Like your skin crawls, your uh, goosebumps, your hair on your arms and body just goes straight up. Uh, Ticking, ringing in the ears. I think those are pieces and
Yeah.
bits of downloads, but I was getting those before. But as
Yeah.
far as the presence post heart attack, NDE, um, I feel sometimes there's something in my bedroom. Not scared though. There's no fear, but
No.
there's something there. It's a dimensional view that you I think you have when you have an NDE. You have a again perspective, right? This multi-angled perspective. You have a multi-dimensional perspective. Wherever it is you're going now, you see things differently. You don't see a tree like you used to see a tree. You used to look at a tree and still think it's a pretty tree, but now you
Hmm.
really see the tree. Like you felt
Hmm.
Jesus's the lines in the palms of his hands. Um,
Mhm.
uh, Texture to you is probably one thing that has improved, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Um, and you feel and see that all of those senses are like turned up where they need to be, but all the senses that aren't measurable are turned up too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You see through the veil, I believe. The veil has lifted somewhat. And
Oh no, it's mine's been ripped off.
oh, yeah, mine was too back then.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. Yeah. Yeah,
And
definitely.
most people still fall back on their conceptual life of going to Bible school. This is how it is. This is what you're told. And you have to, well, I don't want to tell people what they have to do, but it's not a bad idea to suspend your beliefs here and there. And you would be surprised when you suspend your beliefs what comes through
Or challenge your beliefs.
or that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot
And
of NDErs who've had their beliefs challenged, especially when it comes to religion. Doesn't mean that they
yeah,
don't believe in what they believed in before, but just
yeah,
in a little bit of a different way, not so
different
judgy.
way. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe everyone's NDE is meant for where they are in their life,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure
Agreed.
you would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, wow, that was incredible. Thanks, Brad, for sharing that.
Yeah. No, thank
Yeah.
you
You
for
know,
sharing yours. I mean,
yeah.
you got the bonus trip though. You got to go to another planet. And I'm like, wow,
She
I
did
didn't
get
get
and
that.
Jesus, she got to
Yeah.
walk
I still go to other
and
planets in my out of
yes.
bodies, but yeah,
So do you think, Sharon, if you didn't have this NDE, you would still have all the knowledge that you have with your interdimensional um, life? Because you have many lives. You know so much that not the normal person could tell.
well, I believe it's remembering, it's not knowing. We all have all this knowledge, and
Yeah.
more, of course. And to me, it's remembering. I believe head injuries have a lot to do with it. There's something about head injuries that
Okay.
rip the
Yep.
veil off for some reason. I've heard a lot of
Okay.
people who have that I've interviewed too, and I'm sure you have. Um, Along your journey is that something about a head injury that does, a lot of people have had head injuries that have had
Interesting.
NDEs. Yeah. Um, but considering the fact that I was already exploring my multidimensional self with out of body
Hmm.
experiences, I would
Yeah.
say that, yeah, there was no stopping me with that because I'm obsessed for 25
Yes.
years, 26
Yes.
years now.
Ditto, ditto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
good,
know,
think
good.
I
all
know
three
that.
of us can, and I didn't have one, so I think I'm obsessed with it just on my own.
The
Yeah, I mean,
curiosity never stops.
No.
mhm. Yeah, totally. And so,
Hmm.
I don't know. Now, my mother, when she passed, she brought Christ to me, back to me. And
Mhm.
because I didn't remember him until she passed. I admit he was
Oh.
showing up in my out of bodies, but I didn't remember that we had that deal. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Right.
And I was there was and I was having out of bodies while I was flying toward the sun. I knew when I get to the sun I'd be with God. I just knew it, and I'd wake
Mm.
up, come back before I reach
Yeah.
the
You say
sun.
that in your book. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it was too intense, my psyche couldn't handle that experience
Yeah.
all at once for sure. I was also projecting into the mermaid body and find myself either
Hmm.
underwater or sitting on a rock looking over an ocean. I was with my my mer family, merman and mermaid, mer children. Um, I want to say, Greg, you look like a merman sitting there, doesn't he, Robin?
Me?
Brad?
I can just see you as a merman. You
Maybe
look
I
Well,
was.
he has the arms for it.
He's got the
You should see
whole look.
his arms are like,
Maybe I was.
Yeah.
Robin tells me because Robin has an intuition that is just unreal. There's nothing you can get past Robin, and
I know.
a little bit.
she has an energetic literacy that is like flawless. So she keeps telling me there's something that you were or are. I'm going to tell you later about it because I'm getting visuals. I'm seeing this. I
He's
mean,
yeah.
she doesn't normally like just go around telling people this. Like she saves it until she's sure, and then she's gonna tell me when I go visit her in January in Boise. But I'm curious.
Yeah, I do believe we're many things. We're many things. I've
Yes.
Hmm.
seen myself as a
Hmm.
Pleiadian soldier in the Galactic Wars. I've been there. I've
Yeah.
been other aquatic beings as well. Um, like reptilian type aquatic beings. I've seen myself that way too, quite a
Hmm.
few times. But going through to the sun and my having my near death experience come all to me at once, would have drove me a lot crazier than I was, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I
So
couldn't.
it's like, hey, you're already weird, Brad. Now you're really weird, and you make things weird as shit around me, and I really don't want to talk right now. And unfortunately,
Right?
or fortunately, uh, that falls away, and it becomes somewhat of a lonely path for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it does.
And
Solitude. Yeah.
I mean, I had
yeah,
Christ when once I realized who he was. I didn't believe him at first. I didn't believe him because he said he was Christ, and I'm like, oh, Christ consciousness, all this and everything like that. And he'd say, and so I could hear him in my head. I could actually hear him in my head, his voice in my head. And he showed up tangibly for
That's
me. So yeah, I had that. I'm not gonna say that's all I had, but that's all I needed.
it
And
started your mission.
it
yeah,
started your mission. Yeah, that
yeah.
You
he
started
was in
your
essence
path.
like your
Hmm.
first tangible, recognizable guide, ascended master, whatever. Anybody can insert the title, and that's what kind of the fascination I have with the part in your book where you keep trying to fly into the sun.
Hmm.
And I get this parallel with the flight of Icarus, the story of Icarus in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And it's like he couldn't handle it. He wanted to be a god and be up near Apollo, but it's like, no, not yet. And of course, we know that how that ended. But you can't handle it because your psyche can't handle it. This journey to the central sun, and you're taken there. And I remember you had mentioned something about there's a reference or cross reference, or maybe a physical manifestation of Christ uh, being Akhenaten.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Robin, you have him in your
Uh,
book.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Akhenaten. There's a
Which is
definitely.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
Funny enough, that was Otanism, where that was like the
the
first
sun.
monastic religion where they
Yep.
worshiped the sun.
Of
exactly.
course.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
And
he
the
starts
sun.
showing up
Yeah.
for me around that same
Yeah.
time. Go ahead, Robin.
Akhenaten did.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't put the two together until
Hmm.
I don't know, recently,
Yeah.
last couple
Mm-hmm.
years.
So my channeling, it's in the first book. Akhenaten is actually the very first chapter.
Hmm.
And it was kind of an amazing experience channeling him, and that I knew him, and he actually did performed a sacred blessing of kind of like a baptism anointment, I should say, on me before I came down upon this planet. And I actually talk about the crucifixion of Christ because he's like the number one man with Christ. He's his I don't know what you call him, the number one man. He's like right next to Christ. So
Right
he's
hand.
like
Okay.
his, yeah,
Yeah.
front man. Or anyway, so when Christ came down, everybody knew what was going to happen. And so when it did happen, um, I saw Akhenaten, and Akhenaten is like almost like a giant that I see. And on his arm, he has the thorns of the
Oh,
crown of Christ tattooed on his arm, because he says he never wants to forget that moment. Because in my channeling, and it's kind of a little bit on the verb of Mel Gibson's movie, that crucifixion, when
Passion of
mhm.
Christ.
The
yeah, the
passion.
Passion of Christ, when they put the crown on Jesus' head of thorns and then pushed it in. My vision, that was Satan that came into a body to do that. He was
The
able to do
thorns
that.
were Satan.
The
No,
one who
the
pushed it on
person
his
that
head.
put it on his
Oh,
head
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
was Satan.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
Akhenaten never forgot that. And so when he, I think everybody up above was blocked from being released because everybody wanted to come down and go, pew,
Yeah.
because I think there's a lot of evil armies down upon this earth that were unseen. There's so much evil forces
Oh,
upon
yeah.
this planet. And so when I believe what I saw was when Christ lifted up, then all the angels and archangels and Akhenaten were released. And that's where the thunder, the earthquakes, they released to come, almost like an unseen battle was happening. And
Hmm.
Akhenaten went straight for the person that put the thorns on Jesus's head. And
And it
Whoa.
that's
wasn't
what he
pretty.
wears that.
Probably wasn't pretty,
Oh
was it?
no, no. Well, it's kind of like
Whoa.
Michael the archangel, battling Satan in the
Yeah.
heavens, kind
Do
of
you,
that kind of.
that is so crazy. Do you remember the part in my book where I talk about I'm in my office in San Antonio and there's a thunderstorm going on
Hmm.
outside, and I just know that it's a battle between
Yes,
dark beings and light beings in
yes,
this storm, in this wow.
Yeah, there's a couple incidents in your book where
yes,
you're
That
at work and you have some pretty bad panic attacks.
yeah.
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 So,
yeah.
but
But
Memory
that
recall. Yeah,
there is a
Robin,
celestial battle going on for sure. Yeah,
there is.
undoubtedly.
There is. But that wasn't anything that was in my awareness before that. I'm like, it's a thunderstorm. But when you
it,
said that, Robin, it really
yeah,
like that's the first time
yep.
I've heard anyone talk about that
Oh
a
yeah,
thunderstorm.
when
They'll use a
yeah,
thunderstorm to cover up a battle, kind of, so
yep.
to speak.
And I always
That's
think
what I say.
Thor every
Oh,
time
I
I
love
hear
Thor.
The
lightning and
lightning
thunder.
and yeah.
Thor,
I don't know
get
if I love
him.
Thor or I love Chris Hemsworth. Or
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of on the same line.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Um, but no, I have actually felt like I have seen the battles above us, And
Mm,
that is why they want us to wake up and get the light in us. And we need to keep bright because the good guys, draw on our energy to help
Hmm.
them in the battle.
Yeah.
And it was the battle, what I saw was just, I mean, it was so condensed. Everybody's like this tight in fighting. And it was
yeah.
just so much. But the good guys needed our light. So that's why I think you and I, Sharon, we talk about, we need to keep in the light. We need to shine the light. We need to protrude that light because it's not that energy is needed for an unseen realm. Maybe not just for us, but
Right.
it is
Right.
needed up there.
Because they're so used to
Does that
being
make
staying hidden in the
sense?
dark. Yeah, they're so used to staying hidden in the dark.
And
So the more light we shine on the dark, in the dark, on the dark, the the more
it'll
that
evaporate.
it's uncovered.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Yes.
it goes away for sure.
And that's why society wants to keep us at a certain level. So we can't go to our full potential because they don't want us to.
And that's
Right.
starting to change.
It
It
is.
is.
You're seeing
People
that.
are waking up. Yes.
People are waking up and
Yep.
seeing a lot. I mean, these meetup groups, the Robin, your literature, Sharon's books, Sharon started an
Yeah.
academy. I mean,
Yes.
there's that purpose that you ding ding, the light literally goes off and you have a reason and you do it in a certain way. Everybody has a modality to shine that light. And collectively we all do that. And the more and more and more it happens, the brighter it is to assist that battle.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
what I realized on some of I've had a few spiritual awakenings, and after the NDE, um, you're awake, you see it, you realize what's going on, and then you have your spiritual practice. You stay with it. Everybody has their own protocol and modalities, and you think at first like, okay, I get it, I'm good. Like, no, now there's a bigger target on your back
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to
True.
be prepared to engage in spiritual warfare almost
Yep.
on the constant.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I think people who are starting to awake around the world are experiencing these ascension symptoms or awakening symptoms and don't really understand it. I
Hmm.
understand it. So I make adjustments to fine tune that and offset it. But people are tired all the time more. Um, Motivation's gone. You wake up even after a good night's sleep, you felt like you feel discombobulated and confused. Um,
Hmm.
Sense of time, literally, it's like no one pays attention to it anymore. I don't. It's strange. It's hard to explain, and a lot of people are confused and lost by that. And so, what's the
Well,
thing they do? They go to a psychiatrist and they get a pill for that. And I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
I'm not going to
well,
give any medical
hopefully we're
advice because
waking
that's not
people
what we
up on
do.
that
But
one
yeah,
too. But I think you're seeing also people are becoming seekers. They are
yes.
searching. And that's why Sharon, Brad, we need to be available. We need to your academy, I think is an amazing idea. And I think when you get to a certain realm level understanding, it is our responsibility to help others. And I think, and that's kind of why I actually did want this channel also, is to bring awareness. I want people to think. I think that's what it's all about. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just bringing forth information. I'm bringing forth people that have experiences. And Brad and I shouldn't say I, but we want to bring awareness, and I want people to use this because there's going to be a day where something is going to be in front of us, and we need to decipher it for ourselves. If that's a road we want to take, or if that's not a road we want to take, if that makes sense.
Discern.
Discernment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Robin. If I could interject here, what
Yes.
Christ helped me remember. Sometimes I say taught, but help me remember. that we come here with trauma, and that's why we're
Yes.
here, is to heal the trauma that we didn't heal in other lifetimes. And so that's, I believe, that's what helped me tremendously, is to heal, to dive in, go in. Don't be afraid to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, Robin, and we have to disconnect from the outside world at
Mm-hmm.
some point during our day and just spend some time going within, so that we can remember who and what we really are.
Yes.
Mine was
Connect with our
solitude.
soul. Yeah, connect with
Yes.
our soul. And the more we do that, then the more stuff will come up that we can heal, that gets in our way of us being feeling tired all the time, of us
Yes.
not feeling healthy, eating to repress trauma, to repress
Mhm.
pain and stuff like
Or
that.
drinking or drugs or whatever
Addictions.
your pick
Addictions.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was a partier. I mean, I wasn't addicted. I just, I partied when we go
You're
out
having a good
and have a
time.
good time, just have a good time.
Me
I,
too.
yeah, I share in my book that I did feel I was getting addicted to cocaine at that time, and my dad saved me from that after he passed. But yeah, it's so important for us to have some kind of tools to be able to peel away the layers that we've heaped on top of ourselves to keep us safe from this world that's not so kind sometimes. And
Instead of numbing everything out, you need to
right.
really go within.
And
And I've always
you,
said, I mean,
yeah.
once you battle your own darkness, um, and you can navigate your own darkness, it makes it easier to uh, navigate and battle darkness of others around you, and it
Correct. Yeah.
helps. It helps.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to. I read a quote one time, and it was like, "Wow, uh, face your demons and take care of them. Otherwise, they will go on to raise your children."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Basically, that's generational trauma just being handed down, handed down,
Yeah.
handed down
Mm-hmm. Yep.
until you become the one who breaks it, the
Yeah,
cycle
totally.
breaker.
Yep.
And
I believe we're
That's
here
I'm
in
for
my.
that
that's
reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that cycle breaker. I'm childless. Coincidentally,
Same
you were
here.
childless. Yeah. See, and
Yeah.
We all
Robin.
are. We all are
Right.
childless. Sorry. We did not
And
replenish the
A
earth.
lot of a
isn't
lot
that
of dedicated light workers are, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's not everybody
Yeah.
is childless that you can make a difference, but I think
Right.
that's an interesting common denominator amongst many who have this awakening and are who come and do the work like this.
Mhm.
Um, Understand it. A lot of cycle breakers who don't they choose not to have kids because they don't want that
Well,
pain to
I
continue.
and I don't know if mine wasn't a choice. It just never happened. So I don't
Same.
think, yeah, I think that as, because in my 30s, it was really hard. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to have children. I mean, I went through a really hard time with that realization that I'll probably never have children. And then I came to this realization that that's not my mission. My mission isn't to be married, and my mission isn't to have children. I have a
Yeah.
different mission. And once I realized that, I had a great peace with that. And then society might say, "Oh, poor Robin, she's not married," and you learn not to
Yeah.
listen to society
Oh,
because,
yeah.
to be honest, I want to get this point really across to people. You will never win with society. You will never be good enough. You will never be pretty enough. You'll never be thin enough. You will never win with society. So stop trying. Stop it. you
Yeah.
know, and
True.
go ahead, Sharon.
Oh, I was just going to say that I want to thank all the light workers out there that have children and are raising your
Oh
children
yes,
in
yes.
that way, because we need that for sure. We definitely need
Oh
that. We
yes,
need
yes,
the next generations to be aware and awake, and a lot of children teach their parents, right?
yes.
Yeah, they're the teachers.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think that's our evolution right now. I'm writing a new book, almost done with it, and it's for men. I've written two for women, one for men. And this book has evolved into healing the child, the man child. And
mm,
And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, these things started popping up on social media and stuff of men that have done all the work. They're coming forward to heal other men. And they said, I'm here because I need you to understand how to raise a child so they don't have to go through this. Like you said, Brad, to
Mhm.
break the cycle of abuse and trauma and heal the men. It's very important for this world to have strong warrior healed men because we as women and children, we lean on you. It's just a natural fact that we lean on men, the masculinity. And I
Hmm.
think that's inbred in us to do that. And children look up to you as a leader. And so we need men to lead and to be strong, to have the strong shoulders. And I think I'm really excited to see this new society of men and that this book, I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea. I thought, how am I going to write a man's book? I don't know. But it's amazing. And so I'm going to get it out Thanksgiving, but um I just
Thanksgiving.
realized
Wow. Look
yeah.
at you.
It was it's done.
She's
It's
plugged
done.
into
I'm
something, Sharon. I mean,
She
she there's
sure
like
is. Yeah.
three books in less than like 2 months. It's like,
two
Yeah.
months.
what are
Yeah.
you eating?
You know,
What's
I know.
going
I
on
I'm
with
wonder.
not
you?
I'm not sleeping. So,
Yeah, a lot of us aren't.
and I just have to do this. And I was actually told to do this, and it has to be done by December. And so, and I work, it's not like I'm just
Well,
home all day.
your peeps sure they're taskmasters, aren't they?
Yeah. But they
You
said I
crack
can
the whip
rest after Christmas. I
after
can just
that,
kind of
yeah.
take 2 weeks off.
Right.
2 weeks,
Then
Two
Brad
two
will
weeks.
come in
weeks.
Is
town.
that galactic time or Earth time?
I don't
Yeah,
know. We'll find out.
yeah. That's funny. The time thing is like it's like what when I do look at a clock, it, there's always those synchronicity numbers. One
Yeah.
eleven, two twenty
Yes.
two in the
Yes.
afternoon, 2:22 in the morning, 4:44. And this is a great segue into February 2nd of 2022 for you, Sharon.
Oh, yes, my future self. Oh, I got
Oh
Yeah,
goosebumps
yeah.
already.
I
Yeah.
definitely want to hear this story.
Yeah, 2/22/22. I was just waking up and I get a lot of visuals and experiences in the liminal state, in
Hmm.
between state as you're coming out. So
Yeah.
I'm fully conscious and I see this woman in front of me. She has a elongated head, not a lot, but elongated bald head. And she's very human looking
Is this
and
her?
um that's her. Yeah, that's my crude drawing. And
A
she
great
has this,
drawing.
thank you. She has this pastel aura and she's wearing the robe with the gold and the piping around it. And there's symbols in her aura. Now, I just drew
Mm-hmm.
or what came to me as I was drawing it. There's no way I could have seen all the symbols. They were just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she said, Sharon, can you hear me? And I'm like, yes, I hear you. I see you. And she said, I want to show you something. And then she showed me some things. And then she was gone. And a little while later, I'm trying to draw her. And I ask her, and this still isn't a good depiction of her eyes, but I ask her, I can't draw your eyes. This is, I think, my second attempt. And she says, and I hear her, I said, help me with the eyes. She said, just look in the mirror. I'm you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew then that she was my future
yeah.
self because I saw her
Mm-hmm.
again very clearly, as clear as day. Again, I projected in a liminal state and I'm on I feel like it's a ship, huge room. Um, and I see a bald-headed being standing in front of a huge window looking out and wearing the same type of robe with inlaid gold in it. and I'm just standing there gazing, and whoever it is turns around, and I say, "Oh, it's you." And then I'm back. Once I get excited, I'm back. So it becomes too emotional for me.
Oh,
But yeah, that was
Do you want me to bring
Sharon.
that back up, Sharon? I
Yeah,
mean,
will you
Robin?
bring that back up? I was seeing something. Can you bring that back up?
in the symbols.
No,
The
in her
symbols are, yeah,
face.
that's what I'm looking at too.
No, it's her face. Sharon, she is so beautiful and serene. Um, I actually want to cry when I look at her. There's something very, you got the eyes amazing. I think the eyes are
Hmm.
amazing. She is
Thank
just
you.
a beautiful being. I almost, words can't describe what I'm feeling. You did an amazing job with that.
What do you think those symbols are?
Thank you.
The, some of those, like the round one that goes like this, that's,
Hmm.
you see that a lot in Indian, petroglyphs.
Oh,
Okay.
like the portal one?
Yeah. Hmm. The pyramid with the dot on top is very interesting to me, kind of because I have my is the blue star, and it's a ship that is a triangle, a large ship that has a
Mm.
council, and
Would you
Sananda
say
is
it would,
actually
which one
over.
again?
It's the well, it's the
On the right
triangle.
side.
It's above. It's by your
Keep
up
going
the
up, 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 right here.
to the other side. Go to the other side. Go down.
Oh,
Go
the
down
triangle.
right
Got
there.
it. Duh.
Triangle with a dot.
Huh.
And Sananda is actually over that council. He is the head of the council, and Akhenaten is second in command of that council.
Mm.
With and this triangle and the dot above it, symbology is part of that.
Is well, it reminds me of the blue star.
Okay.
And then don't you think that's an eye by her other side on her ear? That looks like an eye with the two dots.
It
Yes.
By the that's
does.
kind of an ear or eye. All seeing, maybe all seeing eye.
Mhm.
Or isn't Ra symbol, or is it
Horus.
Horus? Horus.
Worse.
And then you've got I'm thinking this is infinity of some sort
Yes, the
with
infinity. Also, your S with the looks like it has waves under it by her collar. That might be something of your water symbol.
Oh, yeah.
ooh. I mean, yeah, you didn't just make these up.
N-
You know what I
No.
mean? I mean, that's the thing about all this
And
is
then,
like
oh, I think you have an Ankh. Isn't that an Ankh on top of her head? Off to the,
right here.
yeah. That's on my cards. That symbol is on my oracle cards.
Oh
Really? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yes,
Okay.
I have
Okay.
that on my oracle cards. That's beautiful, Sharon.
Thank you.
That'd be
But
interesting to see if there's light coming out.
you have some
Yeah.
more interstellar being contacts that you shared, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring if that's okay if we stay with that. I'm
Do you have
curious
time,
as to where
Sharon? I
they
know we're running long.
are we
I'm fine.
are
You're
are we
okay. Okay.
long-winded? Do I need to shut up?
No, no,
No,
I'm
but I
Right.
want
fine.
to see the pictures. I want to see the pictures.
Okay. Let's see here.
That's just
And
amazing.
this one is
Hmm. Okay.
That's my feline being, yeah. And I've seen more
yeah.
than one. That's the first one that I remember seeing as a cat-like being wearing the Galactic Federation uniform.
It's blue.
Yeah, blue with the black
Mhm.
collar.
Uh-huh. Star Trek.
Yeah.
Uh,
Reminds me of Star Trek.
And
so
he,
this was like a last year you drew that in March of 24,
uh-huh.
feeling being in the ship. Okay, so that's where you astral traveled and saw him in there.
Yeah. And we were having a conversation. Um, yeah, and I tried to depict the fuzziness of his fur on his head. It was long and fuzzy, long
Was
and
it?
fuzzy. Yeah,
Okay, so he's a Angora cat or something.
something like that. Yeah,
So
and it had
did
black
he have
across his
dark?
eyes.
Okay. But
That
what
was
color
almost
was
like a
his eyes? Did you
raccoon,
see?
almost like a
yeah.
raccoon stripe.
It was he was gorgeous, a gorgeous feline being, cat-like being,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he we were communicating. I don't didn't remember the communication, but I was just
Was
coming
he
back from
half
being with him. Hmm?
was he half human, half like man-like and half cat-like,
It was
or
male.
was he
Yeah, definitely. It was a male cat, feline
okay?
being, that was humanoid from, you know,
So was he Lyran or Lyran
I don't know.
species? Okay.
I have seen the Lyran cat, lion
They have
being.
many, yeah, they have many species too.
Okay, they could, and I've seen myself as a lion being, a
Hmm.
lion.
I'm I say Lyran because that's what I've heard, but I know a lot of people say it different than I say. I say things different
Caribbean,
than
Lyran.
who
Mhm.
cares?
Lyran, Lyran.
We
Shamil
get it,
Shamazel,
right?
you know.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And then this guy,
Mm,
This
the
guy was
Bob.
my first drawing of these beings. Um,
Awesome.
I was in meditation and I asked them, my peeps, to show me who I work with in the star, what star beings I work with. And here's this guy in front of me. He just appears in front of me in my meditation, in my mind's eye. And he's got, it looks like a red helmet or red hair, but afterwards I'm like, that's a red helmet. I was getting that information. And notice he's wearing the blue uniform, black collar,
Mm-hmm.
but he had like epaulets or whatever they're called on his
Mm-hmm.
shoes.
I've drawn that
Okay.
in mine. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And
I get it.
and he yeah, and then he has that emblem and the black on the sleeves. And I've shared this with you before, I think, but I didn't know what it was. And I figured he was some military being because I always felt that I was bringing up memories of secret space program, and that kind of thing. And Elena Denon, she showed up in my feed, which I had never heard of
Mm-hmm.
her. And I saw
Mm-hmm.
that she was drawing Thorhan Iridian, her
mhm.
mate from the Federation, and it was
Mhm.
the same freaking uniform. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean, obviously, to establish the position in a federation, I mean, they don't take rank and file like we do necessarily in the military. It's more or less, okay, you're the commander, you're the boss, we get it. This
yeah,
helps us identify it. This is your job. Just like our military, we've got symbols on the
right.
uniform that tell you the rate or your skill, your craft that you're in. Um, Pilots wear wings on their uniform or something. It's pretty obvious because that's just that all that
Did
is
he
just an identifier.
did he
Hmm.
give you his name?
No, there was no communication. I heard no words. He just sat there and was looking at me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm with you. That's
Okay.
that's basically the message I got. You asked who you work with.
Okay.
This is who you work with.
Do
Okay.
you know how often this symbol
It's rare, yeah.
is seen?
No,
Mm-hmm. A lot.
a lot, really.
Oh, yeah. Aside from Star
Mm-hmm.
Trek, it's
Yeah, I was gonna say.
on so many, and that's another episode that we can do. It's on so many symbols of various things that have to do with aviation, aeronautics,
Mm-hmm.
space aviation, um, NASA, European Space Agency, China's Space Agency, the space station,
Mm,
stuff that's on our rockets. There's something about this symbol, and it's
Hmm.
it's not, sometimes the angles are a little different, the arc may be a little tighter, but it may be pointed one way, but it's
yeah,
this symbol
The galactic.
everywhere,
I
and
didn't know that.
as it relates to space, uh, space agents, all of that stuff. I mean, Roddenberry didn't make that up for Star Trek on his own.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
I
so,
didn't
and
even
it's funny
remember
how
that
you
Star
came up
Trek.
with that too
Yeah.
when you
Do
drew
you,
this.
Sharon, feel like you Like you're part of the galactic. Do you feel like you fly ships?
Oh, I know I do. I have memory
Okay.
of I've been in ships in real time
Okay.
in
Me
my
too.
reality
Me too.
shifts. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
totally. Doesn't
Yep.
surprise me.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy,
This guy.
There's the ears that I was talking about.
Yes.
you both had mentioned this when we talked a couple weeks back about
Uh
the ears. There was a
oh,
significance
okay.
about this.
I've drawn them several times, those ears.
Really?
Oh, he's an elemental. Okay, I didn't see the note there.
Well, I
Oh,
just
okay.
assumed it just felt like he was an elemental type being, and I knew him well. Yeah, there was a few people in my room, four humans, one elemental type. Um, again, smiling at me, except he had something over his face, which I felt was to uh, so I wouldn't be scared of what he looked like. Maybe I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
that makes
felt
sense.
yeah, and I felt complete love from him, complete love.
Mm-hmm.
So much that
Mm-hmm.
when I came back from it, I was actually bawling from some type of recognition. And it
Yep.
wasn't
Interesting.
long before that where I had an experience where I was on a mothership, and I didn't draw that, but I was on a mothership and I'm walking around like this is where I go, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I am and I find my daughter who's a hybrid, and
Oh,
she
that's
has,
right. You said that.
yeah, very
You
thin
mentioned
hair,
that, yeah.
and she has my granddaughter with her, her daughter who has thin
Mm-hmm.
hair like her, but she has the pointed ears.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And she's in our age, she's probably 6 years old, something like that. And and I ask her, and she's very shy because I obviously don't go there very often, because she didn't say, "Oh, grandma," or anything like that. She was like, "Who are you?" kind of thing. Um, and so I asked my daughter, I said, "So what can my granddaughter do? How has she been taught?" Because I have childhood memories of being um, on spaceships with beings who are teaching us psychokinesis and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says, "Well, we'll show you." And we were standing on like a lighted platform floor, and so she picks up her daughter and turns her upside down and holds her by the ankles, and or my granddaughter, and she says, "Okay," and she let go, and my granddaughter kind of fluttered her arms a little bit and stayed above,
Levitated.
levitated. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, let's show grandma," and she did that. And then
Awesome.
yeah, and then I remember that I was sitting in a group of women after this happened, after they showed me what you know she could do after I was reunited with them. And we were talking about if it was time for her to come to Earth. And we're like,
Mm.
"Do you think that she'd be accepted because she's got those ears, right? Do you think she'd be accepted?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
Only
no,
with
I don't
Spock.
think so. Yeah, not yet. I don't think so. I mean, we can't even accept each other, kind of thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that terrible?
But right after that is when I saw that being. He came to me in my room and he told me telepathically that he was my granddaughter's father.
Got it. I was going to ask you that, but no
Yes.
need to.
And so that gift to her is that she, since he's an elemental type, that she has in her DNA to take care of the planet, any type
Mm.
of planet that she's,
Hmm.
on,
Mm-hmm.
because it's in her DNA. And I've got goosebumps.
Yeah,
So
we
so many
talked
people.
about that too, that
Okay.
there are Rob and I were just riffing one day and it was like species come around and that's what they do is they go around and basically maintenance check all the planets in the cosmos and they pit stop and clean
Hmm.
up and
Mm-hmm.
readjust some grid lines or lay some more grid lines, make
Right.
sure the ecology is balanced,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And uh
Yep.
Robin, I think you had said your thought or guess, or I don't know, maybe you channeled Three Eye Atlas, the
Atlas.
whole
Yep. It's a
big
module. Yeah.
fantasy, and everyone's making a huge deal about it, is
Mhm.
basically a crew that is going around and doing,
Cleaning up.
checking
They're
on it,
keeping
okay,
yeah.
tweaking
The
it, and
cleanup crew.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. They're
yeah,
just making sure
maintenance.
they've been doing it for billions of years. We just are somehow able to see them now as the
Yeah.
Oumuamua comes through, and then the Three Eye
Right.
Atlas comes through. They're all doing some sort of maintenance, but people just kind of need to think about that we're just not here, and it's all falling into place by itself. There are caretakers, just like your granddaughter. She's a caretaker. She's an elemental. She has that in her DNA,
Mhm.
and
She has a mission. Yeah.
yeah, she has a mission, and so she would go to where she needs to be the best effective, I think. Is she on this earth now?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
I don't.
sure could use a lot of them because this
I
planet needs
know.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the next set of children being
Something
born.
something tells me there's more going on about that aspect of the, maintenance crew sort of a thing. I'll just refer to as
Hmm.
the maintenance crew, at least here on Earth. More of that is going on than we think, see, or know about, or that will ever be released and told about. Because anything
Yep.
released and told about is just a wad of bullshit. I don't believe, anyways. And that's when uh, this age right now, this transition 2025 through 2026, it's an age of discernment. And like you said, people are awakening. They're starting to question these symptoms of like fatigue or emotional overload. Some people are just wake up crying. I've heard
Mhm.
that. They're just very emotional from something. They don't know why. Um, Vivid, lucid dreams, um,
Hmm.
remembering dreams, which is difficult to do for many, anyways, naturally. But some people remember them, they can
Mhm.
recall them, recite them. And I'm like, that's not a dream. That that occurred
Right.
elsewhere,
Yeah.
but it occurred, and that is just reconstructing the memory in that aspect or that dimension or wherever it is that it occurred. Because the persistence
Yeah.
of memory is not here; it's non-local, and the
Yeah.
continuity of memory happens by reconstructing that and going within, knowing thyself. And the biggest point you made was get away somewhere to be alone, to go within, to really know who you are. Meditate, solitude, whatever it is, that is probably where the ground floor to all of that is. Not on your
Yeah.
cell phone, not
Mm-mm.
on your laptop, not on Netflix, you know,
Not on the news.
exactly. Not on the, yes,
Definitely
definitely not on the news. Jesus.
not.
I mean,
We won't go there.
Jesus,
We won't go there.
as we know Jesus so well, I'm sure he's got some humor. He'd allow me to say it, but
Oh, he has lots of humor.
Jesus Christ,
That's
not
awesome.
on the
One time,
news, please.
one time I said I was driving in my car and somebody took a parking space. I was in a parking garage where I used to work, and someone took my spot. I went, Jesus. And he goes, You called? In my head, you called?
You rang. It's
What?
hilarious. Yeah, it's so important,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't
Well,
think
I
everybody
think
should have to die
No,
to
no.
experience it. But I
no,
can.
I
I'm
agree.
I'm just sharing my notes and
I
my
want to, can I,
experiences.
can I interject a little story here about
Yes,
Please.
please.
caretakers? Um, so I had a hypnosis session a couple years ago, I guess, where I remembered as a child, the extraterrestrials came and got me out of my room, took me on the ship, and it was a checkup. They were checking up on me, my health, and I believe my sister was there too, because I remember seeing her somewhere off though, because she wasn't with me where I was.
Mhm.
And she has no memory of any of this. Um, and just checking this out, there was humans, there was grays, and there was some mantids. I remember
Ah,
that.
yes, Mantis.
Right. Yeah. And the next day, after I had my hypnosis session, I, I I host a support group for experiencers in person here in Beaverton, Portland, Oregon area. And you know Andy, Robin,
Yes,
Andy,
of course.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love him.
yeah.
Yep.
He's had tons of experiences. You should have him on your show. Tons of experiences.
Oh, we
And he
should.
came to the support group and shared. I didn't share my experience or my memory in during hypnosis of having that checkup. He shared that he remembered, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing this because I think he's probably shared it on the show too. But walking down the street out of bed, he's barefoot and he kind of wakes up and he sees all these kids in Portland walking down the street in North Portland, I believe, and uh, kind of in a comatose type of state. I don't remember
Sleepwalking
about.
state. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And they all get on a ship and they're having
Oh,
checkups
oh,
to make sure that they're healthy and everything's okay. I'm like, oh my God, I
awesome.
just had that. I just remembered that the day before.
Wow.
He shared the
Wow.
same experience that I had, and mine was in Oregon too.
Wow.
And I'm like, they do check up on us.
they're watchers.
Hmm.
Do
Well,
you think
it's
they
just,
do that to everybody or only certain?
Um,
well, children would be a different story,
children,
I
I
think.
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
there's a lot more people that are contactees than we can even imagine,
I
if
think
not
so too.
if not everybody in some way,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
because they have the
Yep.
technology to insert and stop the matrix, start it up again, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Yep.
not all discs and saucers.
no, no,
Contact is not all discs and saucers, and you really have to listen to the experiencer, and that's where it starts. And that's why I am thankful for the pioneer, the late Dr. John Mack, who got that across to everybody finally. And the only reason they listen to him is because he's a Harvard psychiatrist and head of the medical school of the psychiatry department.
Mm.
But it shouldn't take somebody with that type of credential to make people understand that you've
right.
got to listen to the experiencer just to start to believe them. That kind of
Yeah.
battle. There are so
Mhm.
many others that have stories that don't even want to say anything because
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
stigmatized still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask me anything. I don't give a shit. I'll tell you what I know and what I don't know. And the truth is, the more I know, I realize there's a lot of shit I'm just never
You
going to
don't know.
understand or know.
No.
Um,
Yeah. And we're not made to know everything, you know?
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated because they want to know certain things. And I go, maybe you're not to know that. It's
mhm.
not on our
Yeah.
timeline, it's on God's. So we
Curiosity
have to
can
go with that.
be a bit of an addiction, though. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, we
Well, try
can we
being,
can't access everything if we put our mind to it. We can access everything,
Hmm. I
but
agree.
well,
our
we,
mind can't. You can only handle so much, of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only
And
have so
my
many downloads. Yeah.
right, right. And I didn't
You
share
burn
my
out that brain.
yeah, I didn't share my NDE when I was 9, but that'll have to be another show, of course. But
Okay.
I was able to access everything in that NDE.
Then
Okay.
we'll have you back on for sure.
Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah. We'll do part two next
Yeah.
year. So
Yeah.
this was great, Sharon. Thank you
I
so
loved it.
much.
Thank
I
Thank you so
you.
knew
much.
I'm so excited to have you come on. And we
Oh,
will come on your show. Brad said
Oh
yes.
yeah, you
So we
mentioned
yeah,
you extended the invite. Gladly,
yeah.
yes. I would love to have
please.
you both. Okay, we'll set it up for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have.
We will
Yeah,
do
we'll
that.
set that up.
Cool.
Definitely.
Cool.
All
Yeah.
right.
We'll have a lot
Alrighty.
to talk about.
Well, thanks
Thank you. Thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah. And all those that are watching, please subscribe to the channel. We're growing and we're
And
starting to
like
see the
it.
ball and to thumbs up. It's
Yeah.
And
very
comment.
important for thumbs up and
Yes.
comment. We read all those, and the ball is starting to roll on this YouTube channel, this podcast. So we're
Yeah.
excited about it. And
And
so
all of
I
the
can't wait till,
contacts, yeah, all the contacts
yeah.
for Sharon's stuff and her work, I'll put in the show notes too.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
And
please do.
absolutely. And go see her, visit her, check her out. Obviously, we
Yep,
learned a lot. So
yep,
we know you can too.
yep. She's a good woman.
All
No,
Okay, you
righty.
guys.
for you
Thank you,
guys.
Sharon.
Right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Thank
Sharon.
you.
We'll
Thank
talk
Bye
you.
soon,
bye.
okay?
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.